Good evening and welcome to episode 69 of Xbox Tavern's Xbox Tavern. We're back. It's 8 p.m. ish on a Sunday evening, as usual. My name is Jamie, and I'm once again joined by MPV Graham.
Hello.
Scottish Gruff Ross.
Hello.
And ladies' favourite Daniel.
Hello, with fresh cuts.
Fresh cuts, looking smooth. Whipped
and
out
a very shiny face as well.
Yeah, I had a brisk walk up the mansion, so sorry.
No Millie Man in this week. He's feeling under the weather, so I hope you feel better soon, Millie Man. Ready for next week for episode 70th.
Oh, yeah.
But thank you very much. If you're returning from last week's abysmal performance from all sides, thank you very much.
Blame those two.
Can only apologise.
It was one shit show after another. However, this week we're already off to a better start, so I'm feeling confident we can fly. We can reach for the stars and all that exciting stuff. Isn't it right,
Indeed.
team?
That's correct. Yes.
Can I just put a wee pause on that?
Uh-oh.
No, you don't bring my fucking mood down.
I had fucked the audio already. We're fixed now. It's fine. Don't worry.
Okay, good. We're off to a cracking start. Right, episode 69 of Xbox Tavern's Xpod Tavern. Let's get cracking into the news, shall we, gentlemen? And topic of the week, I'm going to unfortunately let everybody lead with this one because, it's about FIFA, which, as you all know, returning fans will know, I am not a FIFA player at all. However, this year's FIFA 23 will reportedly include crossplay for the first time in the series history. One site named Xfire. I've never heard of them before. I'm sure they're very reputable. They claim the series will allow players from PlayStation, Xbox, and PC to play together, so no Switch, unfortunately. And then they go on to also say that EA's hypermotion technology has received a large upgrade, which is what I think they used it last year, didn't they? Where they managed to track full teams of players playing at once rather than individual player motion capture and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's apparently you can capture over 100 times more data of tournaments or teams, what have you. Which is, I'm sure I'm making it. Is the World Cup this year?
Yes.
It is. I'm very excited about it, obviously. Go team
sunny Qatar
country. So, gentlemen, discuss amongst yourselves. What's exciting about crossplay or women's football coming to FIFA?
It's a long time coming, the crossplay. I mean, there's been something that's been going on since probably the Xbox and PlayStation started really sort of rivaling, maybe in the 360 bit, maybe not the original Xbox, but yeah, it's fighting against the other generation. They always said their version is better, and it's like the same. No one really cares. It is the same. So the fact that I thought PlayStation was going to block it again. This was a surprise to me, but yeah, it's a long time coming, and it's just why not? If it's the same game, plays the same. If they make the speed the same, because it did feel different playing between them in the past, just very subtly. But if there's no difference, I can't see why.
We noticed that when we were down at EGX, when we played it on the PlayStation, me, Dan, and yourself, we noticed that it was we felt it was different playing on PlayStation compared to playing on Xbox.
Yeah,
there was a slight subtle difference, wasn't there?
Yeah, it wasn't massive, but there was definitely something noticeable between the two speeds playing against.
It was nothing to do with the obviously the different pads or anything. It just was the speed of the game, as it were.
Yeah,
it's just the fluidity. It's the subtle things like that you notice. It's like different between streaming a game and like playing it on a monitor or a TV or something. Yeah. That kind of something feels a little bit quicker or something feels tiny bit slower. It kind of knocks you off whack. The same way like a Guitar Hero thing would. Yeah, that tiny bit out of sync. Suddenly he's like, I'm not hearing a fucking thing here. Why is nothing coming off? It was that kind of feel. It's just It seems quite stupid in a football game, but those things can really knock you off your game.
Especially if you're a yearly player as well, you're going to notice this thing if you go from playing every year on Xbox to maybe 1 year on PlayStation, or like you said, just trying it out at an event.
Yeah.
Or something.
The thing is, you can't put your finger in exactly what it is. Just something doesn't feel right. It either feels a smidgen quicker or a smidgen slower, but something feels off.
Yeah. Well, the players move ever so slightly different. Like normally when you would play, they don't enter that position or that bit of space. There's, as you say, it's just that very small, subtle difference that you can't quite go, that's different.
Yeah.
But the whole kind of capturing now players' movement. So you're going to have your Raheem Sterling playing like Raheem Sterling. You're going to have Neymar playing like Neymar. Well, just
the way he runs,
bottom sticking out. But yeah, this is that kind of capture technology is going to be amazing, and having the crossplay as well. I mean, this is going to be potentially one of the biggest games that haven't had crossplay. Having crossplay, which should open the floodgates for any other game. There shouldn't be any reason now that any other game shouldn't have crossplay.
Because I was going to ask you, lot, because you'd know more than me. Has there been? This is obviously EA is a FIFA. Sorry, a FIFA is an EA game. Has any other EA games actually got crossplay in it? Because obviously you've got things like Call of Duty, you've got Fortnite, Rocket League, etc., etc. But I can't think of any EA. I don't think Apex Legends has crossplay yet, does it?
I don't think Madden does either.
No, Apex does.
Apex does now.
Apex does, but Apex is again, it's a bit different having it in like a shooting game compared to it being like a sports title.
But whereas, like I said, you've got a lot of other games now embracing it, like especially something like Call of Duty, the biggest game in the world. It makes sense for something like FIFA, something like Madden, even what's the F1, like the Formula One, stuff like that. All these sort of online focused sports games, as it were, would be ideal for a crossplay, surely.
Yeah, you're totally right. And it will help the developers because then there's less queuing time, which helps the gamers. Again, go through, it backfills all that rubbish where you're waiting for a person when you don't need to now.
Yeah,
it's just that, and like mainly for younger the generation, but sometimes they got friends who own the other console, and now they can finally play against them. I don't know what that means for like partying up, or if you can do co-op with someone from another platform. That's where it gets a bit sort of mental, I guess. I don't know if they'll limit it to a certain game. So a lot of the FIFAs recently, you can play with someone else from your own location, but as a co-op with them.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting to see whether you can do that on a PlayStation 1 as well.
Because I was thinking, like, if you take the Ultimate Team side of it and you look at like pro clubs, how's that going to work? Are you going to be able to do pro clubs with somebody that's on PlayStation? Then how do you voice communicate, and how are they going to work that? Or is it solely going to be for Ultimate Team when you're trying to play your online games? You get matched up against somebody like that. I think it'll stick to Ultimate Team because I think there's too many obstacles for trying to do it with pro clubs, especially like partying up in that.
But
there's that in the seasons as well, outside of Ultimate Team, normal seasons one they've probably done as well.
But again, as I say, if they do that thing, if they do that, then there's less time for queuing, which only helps their game, doesn't it?
And if you look at something like Fortnite, for example, you can play across platforms with that. I was playing on the Switch this morning with the girls, and they're playing on the Xbox, and you can actually have the party chat in game, so you don't need to have Xbox party chat or something like that. So they could have an in-game chat system or friend system, stuff like that, which would obviously facilitate then you.
The only issue with that is if it's a game chat, you'd have to make sure you can at least mute the other side.
Oh yeah, can you imagine 22 voices through them all? Everyone's looking at each other.
Oh yeah, you do. If you go into a club, you hear that kind of nonsense.
Oh, that's fucking like trying to play clubs when you just drop in like a drop-in game. Fuck me. That's horrible.
It's worse than hearing your kids having racial abuse against sort of international players, shall we say, and getting it completely wrong.
Music on in the background.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you suffer that with Dan as well, playing his dubstep in the back.
We all have a bit of dubstep here at Xbox Tavern. Yes, we do. What about? Should we sort of touch on the crossplay? Obviously, thumbs up all round. I imagine thumbs up for the women's football, but what does that mean? Has it not been in FIFA before?
It's not they only really have international teams, and they really sort of limit the supply. So as it's becoming more prominent, bringing in sort of competitions a bit more gets them involved a bit more.
Yeah. And did I not see that obviously they're going to have the full, is it a WSL?
I didn't see, is that what they said?
I think they're going to have the leagues as well. So you're going to have the WSL league and things like that as part of it as well for the next year, which is, it's great. We're getting to the point now where that women's football is gaining a lot of traction. So why would they not try and appeal to another market by getting female gamers to come in and play FIFA as maybe their favourite female football player, whether it be somebody like any of the American team who've got the renown. England have obviously done a little better. So,
bringing it in, keep it coming. So they've got, I'll bring in old school and go in legend. Why not bring in the whole women? They're playing too.
Yeah, definitely.
So is there World Cup going on this year as well, I'm assuming?
No, I think
Isn't it?
theirs is either the following year. I think they've done it so they don't all happen at the same time. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure theirs are on the odd years, whereas the men's are on the evens.
Okay. But we're still going to get some sort of representation in this year. Well, according to this rumor, we should. I don't know if we mentioned that. It's all rumor and speculation, as it were.
Yeah.
So it's exciting.
Good.
Women in FIFA, happy days. Crossplay, happy days. If only now we can just get a mode where the ball explodes and you can, fire rocket launchers, and I'll be happy to play along with you.
You've been missing out on the mystery ball, Jay. There is some random house rule games that you'd probably actually enjoy. Like I said, there's one where you can't get sent off. There's no rules.
The other one that I've noticed that it was like the opposite of what they used to do in the old Tiger Woods games. So, like in the old Tiger Woods games, if you won the hole, you got to take a club out of the opposition's bag.
Oh, yeah, you lose a player. Yeah.
And this one, you lose the player for scoring the goal. Like, what the fuck? That doesn't give me an incentive to score.
It does. It's to balance the game up a little bit.
I
did it against Jay. Yeah, I did. I ended up like 3 or 4 men down. It's clever. It's a fun, different kind of spin on the games. Those are quite fun. But they don't really. I wish they involved those more in the Ultimate Teams. That would be pretty fun.
Some of them are really quite a good laugh to play on.
Yeah, see, look, as I say most weeks at the minute, I'd still want to get a game going with me and Ian against you three or something, and just see the carnage that ensues.
The cricket score would be unreal.
I was going to say, when you get to the double digits, we got to try and get everyone sent off before it gets to the end.
Match abandoned at 10-0.
So happy days. We'll wait for confirmation. When do they normally announce the new FIFA?
Quite late on, usually.
August, September, it usually comes out.
October. Well, it's been October recently.
October, yeah.
Like late September, beginning of October is when it comes out. Usually they leave it quite late before they do any kind of announcements around it.
And so, right, one more question then, because obviously I'm all about the FIFA. Who do you reckon is going to be the cover star this year?
Who was last year? Was it Mbappe last year?
Mbappe last year.
Yeah, it could still be him again, to be fair. He's still quite in the light, but
it depends.
Either him or Foden, I suppose. He's popping up a bit more.
It'll depend on what happens during the off season. Like if Real Madrid sign
Haaland as well, yeah,
he could definitely be one that I would see.
He's been injured a bit, so he's going to get quiet.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who else we would go for. Foden would probably be another.
Foden, Bellingham's coming.
Bellingham, well. Just because I think he plays in Germany, probably won't get the recognition.
De Bruyne, he's still flying high a little bit, so he still could too.
Salah.
Oh, true. But I mean, they might still pick from people from like Team of the Year, like Jorginho as well.
Well, it all depends on what the contract was signed, wasn't it? What did they have? Messi for kind of like a
Messi
long
did
stint.
like 2 back-to-back, or was he solo 2 back-to-back and then he was on it as a third?
Yeah,
remember when they used to be like 3 people on it on that?
Something like that. I mean, I can't remember how it works. I mean, they could go to the 3 and it'd be something like future stars. But bear in mind also FIFA, was it last week or the week before last, FIFA or EA were talking about dropping the FIFA license.
Yeah.
So there's that to possibly contend with as well. Whether that actually
if
happens
got
or not.
the World Cup in it, no, surely they'd want to keep hold of
FIFA, I think
for one more year at least until the World Cup's done.
That was one of the things they put in the article. I'm trying to think exactly what the quote was. Where was it?
Also, there's got to be a woman on the front, surely, as well.
Yeah, that's
featuring women heavily.
In comments provided anonymously to VGC, Wilson claimed that FIFA had precluded EA from expanding its games into modes beyond the traditional 11v11 or broader digital ecosystems, and suggested that the only value EA got from the license in a non-World Cup year was the 4 letters on the front of the box. So obviously with this year being the World Cup, it makes sense to keep the partnership there so that they've got that. But for 2024, why can't it just be something like EAFC 24 or something?
Yeah.
Or just EAFC.
Featuring FIFA World Cup.
Yeah, so as long as they keep UEFA on board, I mean, I'd say keeping UEFA is more important than keeping FIFA, because having the Champions League, especially with the amount of cards that they bring out for the Champions League, the Europa League, they need that. FIFA is great having the terminology behind it, but it doesn't add much to the game apart from that.
I agree. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. People will still know it as FIFA, even if it's not called that.
Be called FIFA, whether it's FIFA or not. Anyway, won't it?
Pretty
Let's be
much.
honest.
If it's run by EA, everyone's going to know. I mean, same with PES. I mean, it's called eFootball now, but it's still a shitty pro eFootball. It's what it is.
It's like Rocket League. Everybody calls it Supersonic Acrobatic Rocket Power 2, don't they? Really? I mean, everybody knows it by that, but they just go with Rocket League because
it's just shorter. It's easy to get out of the way.
It's just easy. Yeah. Anyway, that's enough football talk for 1 week.
Moving on to Halo.
Go on and get your revenge, Jay. What's the other articles?
Right, gentlemen. So I'll just go through this very, very quickly because I won't talk to you too long. Resident Evil 2, 3, and 7 are all coming to Xbox Series X and S and PS5 later this year. So all 3 games are getting a nice upspuff, including cutting-edge features, including ray tracing, higher frame rates, 3D audio support, and there's on the PlayStation you get like the haptic feedback and stuff like that. They're all going to carry on being developed using the RE engine, which made Resident Evil Village look bloody lovely on Xbox Series X and S. So that's all there is to it. They haven't said a firm date. They've said later this year. But I have been looking to play it again, Resident Evil 2 specifically. So I think I shall wait for this and then see what kind of upstuff shiny goodness we get out of that. So yeah, if you're looking to play them for the first time or again, hit them up. Now, if we just talk about Resident Evil 2 for the next 25 minutes, greatest game. No, right, we'll move on from that. But yeah, definitely go check them out if you haven't already played them. Fantastic games, especially number 2.
I'll be picking these up.
He still loves number 6 the best.
Do you know what? If they upstuff number 6, I'd play it again. Definitely.
I thought it was 5.
Oh, it was 5 as well.
And 5. I mean, I'd rather play 5 than 6.
5 was a good-looking game as it was.
No, they're very good-looking games, all of them. But it's the actual game part of them that's not all that.
Much to Jay's probably discussed, 2's the only one I've not played. I've played 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, but I've never played 2.
This is, you know, when you learn something about someone and you think, it's fucking 2 years of my life. I've known this person. I shared a beer with him and everything. Oh, yeah.
I don't know why I never played 2.
Well, you need to rectify that later this year when the series.
I think when these remakes come out, I think I probably will because did they not do 2 as an upspuff already? No, that was 1 that does the upspuff already.
They've done that a few times.
Yeah, they've re-released them and HDified a fair few, but the 2, 3, and 2 and 3 remakes were Xbox One games, which I did think they got a 1X patch, but they've never been proper next-genified. Yeah. So we look forward to that.
I was going to say, I've only completed 8 and 5.
That sounds about right for Dan, actually.
If that's completed any, it's better than none. You're right.
I've completed 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. I didn't complete 7.
Brown nose.
I've not completed 7. 7 I didn't complete because I was a fucking shite bag and didn't want to finish it.
I'm sadly on par with Dan, except for I've only completed 1 and 5. And 5 was with you, Jay, and you made it hard as balls because you're shit at quick time events.
And it was, I'll blame Shiva. Come here.
Punch it up.
Come here. I need help. Fuck off. All right, anyway, let's move on from Resident Evil 2 before we go on all bloody night about it. Well, we could if you like. You up for that? No?
Talk some Halo.
Okay, let's talk some Halo. So, it came out in December, obviously, and they delayed the co-op and the Forge, saying it will be ready for Season 2. And they've given us sort of monthly updates, and they keep saying, it's coming, get ready for it. Episode 69. But the reality is, as they say here in this release from Joseph Staten, I've got his name right this week.
Yeah. I'm really glad you got Staten right there and not another Joseph that you could have quite possibly stuck into there.
What's wrong with Staten?
I was thinking Stalin.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah.
It's just the way he said it. I was like, oh no, he did say that. Oh shit, right. We're all good.
Everything's going on in the world, and I don't want to go.
But that was going a different path there.
We got even worse. Said Fritzl.
Yeah. Oh Jesus Christ. Oh Jesus. Oh, definitely episode 69. Right. The reality is that we're going to take more time to land a high-quality, full-featured 4-player. Very important. I'll come back to that part in a second. Network co-op experience in the massive, wide-open world of Halo Infinite. We're also committed to a great 2-player split-screen co-op on Xbox. But from Xbox One through to Xbox Series X. It means they're gonna, when they ship Season 2 on May 3rd, they're not going to be able to deliver a co-op as they promised because they want to take some extra time, and they hope to get it out by the end of Season 2. So in the next 3 or 4 months, basically. but they haven't actually set a firm date for it. And same with Forge. They're looking to try and get it done with season 3. So again, in 3 or 4 months' time. But that's basically been delayed from 3 months to 6 months to possibly even more than that. So I want to go back to the 4-player network co-op because, and up until now, we saw obviously that I think someone hacked it, or not hacked it, but found a way of setting up local co-op, which was 2-player split screen, as they said, without sort of the official patch. But they hadn't confirmed the online player count. So I'm very happy to see it's 4-player, which means that we can all play together. Huzzah.
One will have to miss out.
Well,
you won't show up anyway, so.
And Ross will be there for half hour anyway, so we'll have sort of 3 players.
Ross will be half hour late looking for his Biscoff ice cream.
Hey, that shit was fucking good.
But yeah, so I'm very happy to see 4-player co-op, but I'm a bit gutted that it's not going to come in for at least another couple of months by the sounds of it. Grave, you've finished it now, haven't you? Ross, are you still waiting, or no? You finished, haven't you?
Oh yeah,
it was Ian that was. Ian that was waiting, wasn't it?
Remember, I had it. I wanted to cram it in for the game of the year show, so like 2 days fucking completed the game.
Yeah, I remember now. Ian's been the one been waiting for co-op, so he's got to wait a little bit longer to play it. We might better convince him to at least start it so we can get an idea of it. But if you are waiting for co-op, know that it's 4 players, success, and it's coming in the next few months. As for Forge, anyone here interested in Forge? Perhaps when I was younger, I would have been more interested, but now I haven't got the time to get into that sort of thing. But for those who care, go.
Put it nicely.
Yeah. So you've got to wait a few more months yet. But it does look like, because they said here that they're getting it out to some community creators and sort of close members of the team and stuff for testing. And it sounds like they're all having a great time. And I think there was someone put a video out a few weeks or maybe a month or so ago about what they'd found in Forge so far. And it looked like it was obviously way more in depth than anything in Halo 3 and Reach and 4 and 5 and stuff. So yeah, it looks like it'll create some good. We might even get a new Griffball style thing out of it if we're lucky. You never know. Campaign co-op delayed. Boo. All right, another news story, gentlemen. Should we do one more and then we'll move on to what we've been doing. So we'll skip over the WWE one because I haven't really looked into that too much. Let's get into some GTA 5. A game that keeps on giving. So they finally confirmed the graphics modes, etc. So they're going to include a fidelity mode for the highest visual quality, which targets 30 FPS with ray tracing and all kinds of upspuffery with extra textures and bushes and people to run down and stuff like that.
And bells and whistles. And
exactly, yeah. Series S supports upscaled 4K resolution, and then performance mode is designed to give responsive gameplay experience and targets 60 FPS. Supports upscaled 4K on the Series X and a 1080p on the Series S. And then you're also going to get, which is probably going to be the one I'll play as and when I get to it, the performance ray tracing mode, which is a hybrid of both. So it's going to be looking to upscale to 4K, have 60 frames, and have ray tracing as well, which is really what the promise of these new machines was all about. So we should be getting that as a default, but that's going to be one of the options. So does this do anything for anyone? Make you more interested to check it out in 9 days when it comes out?
Not until I've seen a breakdown of it. I want to see what the performance ray tracing mode looks like, because if they can't do, it's not going to be native 4K, obviously, it's going to be upscaled. So I want to see how that looks compared to a normal version, and I want to see how much the ray tracing element works on it, because obviously you've seen some of the ones that are on PC and they look like you're walking down the actual street. So they need to at least come up with something great, and then I'll maybe consider looking at it.
It says increased vegetation density. How can you not be interested?
Yeah,
exactly.
Whoop, whoop.
You got more bushes to roll through without any physics, because that's not how it works. You just fly through trees left, right, and center.
Yeah. Who doesn't like the vegetation dense?
Exactly. Oh. We're all about the dense vegetation on episode 69.
We should be. We should be smooth as.
No, we don't talk about them. We don't talk about them. No.
As our good friends once said.
Yeah. So Dan, I know you said you never finished it, but is this going to tempt you back in?
Do you know what it might do? So
vegetation.
The girthy vegetation might bring me back, and I might jump in. I saw that you can You can transfer your save over at a one-time deal, I believe.
Yeah.
I can't remember how it was done, but you've got to go into game, into a settings, save it on the cloud, and then you'll be able to pick it up on the next gen mode.
Which I think is what they did for 360 to Xbox One, wasn't it?
Yeah,
There was some one-time transfer thing.
Yeah, I can't quite remember what it was. So I think I'm actually going to do it. Obviously, I've got this unfortunate 30 video game challenge to do inside a year. And unfortunately, Ian keeps knocking off games that I've finished. So I might have to see how far I am on this GTA and jump in. But then it's just giving them more money for.
This is the other thing. I think it depends on how much they're going to be charging for this out the gate. If it's a full whack, 70 quid, as most of them are now. You've got no chance. I've already given them about fucking 120 quid for 2 copies as it is.
Well, and the fact that they screwed everyone over with they didn't screw people over with the last game they brought out, but obviously how badly the launch went on the last one. I think this has kind of pushed forward and made them go, oh, do you know what? We need to quickly do a better mode for this. Let's bring it out quickly. Let's also announce GTA 6. Let's also kind of pretend this part didn't happen with San Andreas and the other games. So yeah, I'm probably going to jump in, waffling on.
Damn right. I can't believe it's out in 9 days. It's very quiet on their front, considering it's the biggest game. Well, one of the biggest games ever, and they're up stuffing it, reselling it again, and like it's
I think they're nervous after their bloody redo of GTA 3 and San Andreas.
It's going to come out. It's going to be
their up stuff is going to look like a broken giraffe character.
It's going to be a 2D
head.
pixel art game.
That's what worries me.
Yeah, it's high definition, but he's got a janky old neck.
Well, I was going to say, have any review copies been handed out? And if not, we definitely know where this is going then.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, I imagine many people have got in touch with them, but I've not heard anything back yet. So we'll see what happens, I guess, in the next week or so when reviews might start dropping or impressions might start dropping. Like you said, Ross, people like Digital Foundry.
That's what I'll be waiting to see. Once Digital Foundry puts something out, that'll dictate whether I pull the trigger and jump back in.
Yes, so we shall see. So if you haven't played GTA 5 yet, somehow, if you're one of the 3 people who's never heard of it, it's definitely one of the best games I've ever played. But this up stuff is going to be the best way to play it, especially if you haven't done so already. So go check it out. Yeah, and enjoy having Trevor dress in a dress and lob people off bridges.
It just pisses me off that obviously how many times have they done something with GTA now and they're still expecting you to buy it over and over and over and over.
But then we're the mugs that buy it.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been nice to have had a smart delivery upgrade, but that's not how Rockstar roll apparently. So we'll see. We shall see next week or week after when it releases. Yeah. When we're all sitting at, I bought it again. Yes, I paid the full price for it. Cool. Well, that's about all the news I think we're going to get through this week. Thank you very much. We're about halfway through the show. Flying through it. So if you've liked what you've heard so far, if you've enjoyed our dulcet tones, especially old Scottish Gruff Ross up there, filling your ear holes with all kinds of gruff nonsense. You can follow us on your podcast service of choice. Just hit the old subscribe button and reviews and all that goodness, whatever it is you've got on your service. Please do the thing. And you can also follow us on YouTube at youtube.com/Xbox Tavern Official, where we record this very podcast on every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Ish. Thank you very much. And also goes out, as I said, on podcast services. And on YouTube, we've got many other videos. Dan puts in the work, and only Dan puts in the work. With plenty of daily videos and news and tips and tricks and plenty of reviews from Dan and Ross and Corey and some of the rest of the team. So go check them out.
Ross is going redder and redder.
Fury.
This podcast about to cut out in a minute. Oh, look, shit, fucking died.
Oh, that's all right. Then we can blame Dan for breaking as well.
Yeah.
You can follow us on TikTok and Discord and stuff. Just find us. Dan does daily news on TikToks. I hear it's a great place to be, so go and check it out.
Yeah, boobs and stuff. Not my boobs.
There's definitely some boobs in it. You should try that. Get your boobs up while you're talking about Xbox news.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, look, I got a haircut, but someone commented that I had naff hair.
See, peer pressure, start.
Well, I was growing out my hair, and then these just coming at me with, "Oh, your hair's shit." I was like, "All right, chill out, fucking hell."
Don't let that put. Then
You keep it how you want to keep it, Daniel.
Exactly.
You do
You
what
do
you
you, Daniel. You do you.
I thought, here you go. Look, I'll do this. I sat down the barber's chair, and what do you want? I was like, I don't know.
Just cut it.
Make me look good on TikTok, please.
Yeah, you got the old friggin'
TikTok presentable.
I was like, don't shave it all off. I've got massive ears. Anyway, yeah.
Well, now you've got a nice new haircut, you can get some nice fresh t-shirts and hoodies from our good friends at insertcoinclothing.com.
Oh yeah.
Get 20% off with the code Xbox Tavern 22 for the entirety of 2022. And as we said last week, they got some decent new lines of Persona and things like that. I was having a look on there. I've already bought a few things the other day, but I looked at my bank balance and it said, fuck you. So maybe it can wait for another month. But
so you didn't pick up the free bum bag?
Oh, I didn't pick up the free bum bag, no. Unfortunately not. But I think is that still ongoing? The free bum bag if you buy a hoodie?
While stocks last.
While stocks last. It might very well be. If you listen to this live, go check them out. If you're not, try your luck anyway, because it's a great site. Like I said, Xbox 7 22 for 20% off for the whole of 2022. Cool. I think that's enough pluggles for now.
Oh, hang on. Do the Twitter one, because we've got something being given away.
Well, why don't you do the Twitter one while I have a quick swig of my apple juice?
Oh, okay. You have your apple juice. So far, go over to at Xbox Tavern on Twitter, and we have a tweet. You need to retweet, follow, and tag a friend, and you can win a copy of Oddworld Stranger's Wrath, whatever. For Xbox. So go do that. And it finishes on Wednesday with the winner being announced on Thursday. And then we might have another giveaway and another copy of Oddworld to give away. So, yeah.
Yeah, go check it out. That's at Xbox Tavern on their Twitter.
Yeah, because, episode 69, I think we should be giving as well as... Yeah, let's move on.
You almost committed. You almost finished there, Daniel.
I almost did,
finished.
But I made sure I gave a gentle tap on the head just to let that person know.
In a knock on the wall, no? Anyway, right. Let's get to the question of the week. Every week we have a question. And this week we've got a question of the week about video games, as always. Favorite controller of all time, gentlemen.
Yes.
We like to use controllers. We're not a keyboard and mouse collective here. Although I'm slowly coming around to the ways of the keyboard and mouse.
Can't be a wireless mouse.
Ooh. Well, Ross, seeing as you flashing your wireless mouse, why don't you tell us what your favorite game controller of all time is?
So I was sort of on the fence with two. I think for its innovation, the Dreamcast one was like fucking awesome. Loved that controller, albeit the one thumbstick. And that and the original 360 controller, I would say, was probably the two best controllers of all time. I mean, I get like going on to other controllers, I've got more bells and whistles, but for level of comfort, the 360 was just felt perfect. And Dreamcast was just so ahead of its time with what you could do with it. The shape, obviously, very similar to what the Duke eventually became. Obviously, you had a cartridge part that you could insert with is it the network thing that you could put inside it as well?
It was the old VMUs and the rumble packs and stuff.
Yeah.
Wasn't it VDU?
VMU, Visual Memory Unit.
Oh, was the Visual Display Unit?
Oh, there's I can see there's going to be a Google battle here.
I'm telling you, it's VMU. Anyway, carry on.
Jay would know.
Yeah, so something a wee bit different. Obviously, go back, and even old controllers, none sort of shaped up to the. So old school Xbox 360 or Dreamcast for me is probably the two best ones.
And two mighty fine controllers they are too. So let's go on to Graham, see what his thoughts are. Graham, what have you picked?
Yeah, kind of echoes the same as what Russ was saying, the Dreamcast, just for that precise thing. It's kind of done something which even the modern controllers haven't really sort of gone back to, and that's provided a visual element on the actual controller itself, sort of with that VMU. You're right, it is the visual memory unit, but just that, it's why not have they not sort of replicated that but modernized it a little bit to have even something as similar as like achievements or objectives or something that you could display on that kind of on your controller like that, like they had.
Because it was a real basic display when it was like a 1-bit.
Yeah, it's old school dot matrix things.
Yeah. Because I not to take it back to Resident Evil, but I'm going to. When playing Code Veronica, you got the heartbeat for like your health indicator. That was on the VMU, so you didn't have to keep pausing it to see how dead you were. And usually my line was straight across, but it was a good indication of.
That's what I mean, but they don't do that. Any kind of display like that would have been awesome on any kind of modern controller.
It's the same way like when they brought out the newest Duke, and obviously has the little screen and it does like the animation. Having something like that, that would be awesome. Just something in there that like takes something from the game would be cool as hell.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That kind of innovation hasn't really been repeated since, and they had the balls to kind of do it. And yeah, that, and it was mobile as well. I remember smashing Jada bits on the little Chow or KO game on there where you had to stop it on the correct line to sort of hit the other person.
Yeah, because you could take them out the controller, plug them
into each other. Yeah.
And play games.
I used to smash you every time at that.
Yeah, and there was another example as well where you could take you play virtual tennis on the console, take your save and play it on the VMU with little stick figures. It was almost impossible because you couldn't really see what you were doing, but it was a good idea. And like you said, Ross, something like the Hyperkin controller with a much higher resolution screen would be awesome for something like that, especially if you take it out. So Dreamcast for you then, Grayman. Did you, before we move on, did you guys have any fancy coloured ones? Because I had a nice transparent orange one, which I've still got to this day, which is awesome.
Transparent orange?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Wow. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would have liked to be an orange one, but no, I can't say I've ever seen the orange one.
Not the Dreamcast one. The only ones we dicked around was the N64 ones. I know we swapped fascias on that one to give a bit. Yeah, so we had the hybrid ones, but that's pretty much what we did.
Yeah, mine was just your bog standard sort of
just the
off-white grey type shade one. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Well, I'm gonna sneak in, Dan, if you don't mind, just quickly.
No,
my answer's mildly related to theirs. Mine is the Sega Saturn controller, but specifically the 3D controller, which was basically the same as the Dreamcast one, but for the Sega Saturn. So it was the same shape. It had the one analog stick, except this was more of a
like a rocking one, wasn't it?
Yeah, more like a rocking bowl rather than a stick, as it were. And it come with Nights into Dreams. That's when it was released, and then it got used for things like Burning Rangers, some Sonic R, some other racing games. Panzer Dragoon Saga was excellent with it. And yeah, I fucking loved it. It was a brilliant controller, much for the reasons you're saying, like the shape and the weight and the feel of it. It didn't have the nifty little VMU slot, unfortunately. But you could also use it I played Quake with it, and you could put in a cheat where you could use the stick for looking around, which was new at the time because obviously it only had the one stick. So you almost play it backwards. So the left stick was looking, and then you used the face buttons to walk and strafe and stuff. When I was younger, I got my head around it quite easily. I've tried to go back to it in the last few years. It doesn't make any sense at all now. But it was a fantastic controller. It won me over immediately. And then obviously going on to the Dreamcast was basically the same thing, just with extra bells and whistles. So but just for pure nostalgia, the Sega Saturn 3D pad was awesome. Cool. Daniel.
Nice.
What about yourself? What is your favourite controller, sir?
Mine's slightly boring, obviously, because it's me. At the time, I thought the PlayStation 2 controller was the bee's knees. However, moving on, going through the generations now, I have to say for me, the Elite controller version 2, I personally think is the best controller out there. It feels correct. For some reason now, like normal controllers feel too loose and weightless.
I like the chunkiness of it. I must admit that. See, jumping between this and PlayStation, going to the Dual Sense after playing on the Elite, it's like, this doesn't feel right.
There's a correct weight to it, isn't there? And it just feels like it's built to last. Like even going back, well, not going back, but like this controller just feels a bit, the buttons don't feel just as crisp, and obviously tightening your hair triggers as well kind of makes all the difference now. And I think for playing your shooters, obviously having that ability to just minutely tweak the trigger so it doesn't go all the way down, so you've got the shot that you've got that half half a second, well, less than half a second, just to kind of aim and shoot is makes this old man a little bit better at games. Not by much, but just like that much.
Every little helps, eh?
Well, exactly. I mean, that's what I tell the wife.
Yeah, I mean, the Elite is probably the best controller I've ever used.
Yeah,
but yeah, in terms of, like I said, for nostalgia, really, I still think fondly on the Saturn one. But yeah, that Elite 2, I've switched between a few during the week because when I go away for work, I take my wired Turtle Beach one. It's an excellent controller. I really like it. But when I come back home and I pick up the Elite, I'm like, this is this is where we should be. This is what we should be using.
But I think it's the weight. I think it's the weight that makes it feel, you kind of pick it up and you're like, whoa, that's a controller.
It's got a good chunky, girthy feeling to it.
So, it's like when you drink a small beer and you're like, yeah, this is all right, it's cool. And then you pick up the beer that's the size of your head, you're like, yeah, that's a beer.
You like to have something big and meaty in your hands when you're enjoying yourself.
These small little hands.
Exactly, you got to enjoy yourself, innit?
Exactly.
Nice. Well, thank you very much. If you have a favorite controller, hit us up on that there, whatever social media, TikTok, Discord, Twitter, etc.
Telegram if you're Jay's age.
Yeah, send me a fucking smoke signal.
Facts.
Smoke signal.
Carrier pigeon.
And, yeah, there we
Smoke signals.
I need a Morse code, please. In my ear.
Morse code on his Sega Saturn 3D controller.
You like the SNES controller? Get out of my house.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
But that was a revolution, wasn't it? The SNES going from the Nintendo, like that square
blocky thing,
going to a thing
with curves.
Yeah, to like, wow, this feels amazing in my hands, and they've got left and right triggers. Whoa!
And then we picked up a Mega Drive pad, and there we were. Right, anyway,
Mega Drive, A, B, and C.
Let's move on to instead of the controllers, the games we've been playing, because I'm sure we've been playing some games this week. Very quickly, we'll touch on Project Game Pass every month. If you've been a regular, so you'll know we play a game from Game Pass for the entirety of the month, and then we discuss it at the end. Last month's one was Rainbow Six Extraction, which we gave so far fair to middling between the five of us. Some are higher, some are lower, but this month we've chosen one of the games Ian spoke about last week in game preview, Second Extinction, which is a dinosaur version of Left 4 Dead / Apex Legends type thing. Has anybody else actually had a chance to check it out this week? Because me and Gray were going to play earlier this week, but we didn't manage to set up a date in time.
No.
I didn't get a chance because Tweedledee and Tweedledum talking too much about FIFA has sent me in a rabbit hole. So yeah, I've downloaded it. I had a wee look at the trailers and things like that. Looks awesome. And not had a chance to actually jump into it yet.
Yeah, I've done the tutorial of it. It's Apex with dinosaurs. I've got exactly the same feel, look, the 3-person, the different kind of characters and style. But yeah, it seems all right. It's just, you're going to have to play with others to sort of get the joy out of that.
I've downloaded it. No, just download. My gaming time has been dreadful, but I've downloaded it, which is obviously one step in the right direction.
That's first step into the action. I forget if Ian said last week. Is it just 3v like PvE, or can you do player versus player at all? Do you know?
No, I haven't got that far in. I just completed the tutorial. I haven't seen that bit.
But yeah, hopefully we'll get a chance to get a game this weekend at some point, either with us three or if Ian's feeling better, we can get a couple of teams on the go and we can go from there. However, let's talk about games we have been playing for now, shall we? And I'm going to go to, let's go to Ross first and get out of the way, shall we?
Oh, well, you're not going to get out of the way because me and Gray are going to be talking about it, so you should probably wait to Dan first.
Well, now you guys get, you fill your boots.
Yeah, the FIFA, yeah.
So, I got dragged into the rabbit hole that is FIFA Ultimate Team because of, Dan's shambolic performances and Gray's whirlwind squads that you keep putting out. So I thought, never really played it much this year. I'll decide to jump back in, see how it goes. So I think I started off with a really shit team, no coins, played about 8 games or something, the whole Ultimate Team this season. And since then, I think I've played 90 games, maybe, from last Sunday.
Wowzers.
between bloody squad battles, division rivals, fuck friendlies. Yeah, I have been well and truly dragged down this rabbit hole. Getting to the point now where I'm like sitting on the app every day, monitoring player prices to see when I want to buy players and when to sell players, and watching YouTube videos of tactics. And it's been a slippery slope.
We need an intervention for you.
I feel like I need a it's fine because March is a month where I know I can break it up because we've got Tiny Tina's coming up at the end of the month. So I know that once that drops, that'll take me away from FIFA. So this will just give me a nice little filling in before that comes out.
I was going to say, did you read the guide that we had put up by
FIFA
trader?
No, I studied it relentlessly. That's where my first set of like my coins came from. Yep.
Good.
So yeah, I've really went down a rabbit hole. So by tail end of this week, if Dan isn't a little bitch and doesn't want to play me, there'll be a recording of me whipping Dan's ass.
I'm in Spain, mate. I'm not here. I'm sorry.
There we go. Excuses.
I'll be having sangria on the beach just for the weekend.
That's how much he doesn't want to. That's why he's hiding in another country.
Yeah. There's a game on. Oh, sorry, lads. I'm away. Sorry. Yeah. We'll get a game in. I mean, we can do one after the podcast. I mean, I'm happy to rock my team now. And
so before I've got a chance to put all my new players in, you'll play me then. Yeah.
Snooze, you lose, mate. You snooze, you lose.
Stream it.
So have you and Graham been like? You say you've been back and forth. Have you actually been playing together, or just chatting away about?
God no! My team's nowhere near good enough to try that shit yet. Fucking! I had a look at so on the app that you can get as part of the Ultimate Team. It shows you your friend's highest rated squad, how much money they've made in transfers, how much their team's worth. I think my team at the moment is worth something like 90,000. And Gray's is worth something like 1.8 million or something fucking absolutely ridiculous like that. So I was like, no, I don't need to be playing that in any way, shape, or form. that can just fucking wait.
No, you got to have faith for us, I believe.
Yeah. That's skill level. It's not players.
So I was like, no chance. Yeah, sorry, I was a little bit off it. Gray's total team value is 182 million.
What's mine, just out of interest?
The whole thing around that is just the fact that I still haven't spent a dime. My whole team is the fact that I don't spend any money at these pack buys and everything. I've never bought one pack since Go Live.
Dan's is 109 million.
Oh, that's not bad. I haven't spent any money on mine.
And mine's is 68 million. So I'm like, nah, I'm good, thanks. I can definitely hold out. Gray's top squad's 190. So your chemistry usually nearly everybody that plays FIFA will have a chemistry of 100, and then the rest of it is what your actual team's rating is. So Gray's overall team rating is 90.
That's that's not the correct. That's my my friendly team. That's not my actual team.
Oh, my friendly team.
Dan's is 187 and mine's is 185. So I'm catching Dan, but still considerably behind Gray.
Yeah.
So couple of weeks I'll work on it and see if I can get closer.
To be fair, there's nothing stopping doing like a co-op one every now and then, because you can do that as well on there.
Yeah.
I've threatened to do it with Peter a number of times, but just setting up that time to do it. Yeah. Silence.
I thought I'd just see if anyone was going to say anything else.
Nope, I'm not committed to that.
Cool. Lovely. All right. Well, FIFA. News at the top, game we're playing, and I'm sure we can squeeze another mention of it in at the end. Graham, what have you been playing this week?
So, I won't touch any more on that bit, but the other one is my review game, Elix 2. And so that one is definitely an improvement on the first one. I'm not sure how much you remember of that one, Jay, but the first one was balls to the wall hard, unnecessarily hard.
That's what put me off a bit, because I'd never actually finished it, but it was just fucking unfair that you go into a fight and you just get absolutely decimated for no reason.
Yeah, toasted all the time, and I had to use a guide to sort of almost cheat my way through it or sort of fudge my way through it. But with this one, they've actually come up with different difficulty tiers, and they've got like a story mode, which I've actually put it in, and it's still pretty damn tough, even on the story mode. But the story and everything's decent. There's flashbacks to people that were there in the original game, and it's a kind of a throwback around that bit. The different factions are still there, so it's all the kind of the fun of the first, or the decent storyline of the first one. They've carried it on, and graphically it looks much better. But the only thing they haven't really improved too much on is the combat, which is a shame. Combat is a bit old school, and it's kind of a hit and dodge kind of routine. You can either hold it down for a power attack or just do a normal melee attack, and you just got to move out the way. And so even some of like the creature enemies almost have the same animations: growl, thump the ground, or turn and do it like a side swipe. And it's almost like the same kind of animations, but different sized beings. But yeah, you just get out of the way when they swipe, get back in, couple of hits, get back out, and it's rinse repeat kind of thing.
I seem to remember the combat being, as you said, old school, but like almost turn based. And what was it? Real time?
No, it is real time. It was always real time, but it's very basic in the way it kind of operates. It's not like advanced moves or different kind of skill moves or anything. It's just hit and dodge. You can put a shield on, but that's more for like deflecting range attacks than anything. But combat just feels a bit secondary. It's all about sort of integrating with the different factions and trying to sort of rally them all against an alien invasion.
Are you able to carry over your character or your progress?
No, because the whole point of it is like it's your main character. It's the same lead from the first one, but he's kind of gone through a reset. He tried to warn everyone that an evil was coming, but no one really sort of took to it. So he thought, well, fuck yeah. And then he just kind of went to his own place. And then there was an alien invasion, and he got like bitten by one of them, and he's infected. And basically it's his way of resetting all these abilities back to kind of, he has to relearn things again. So he's not as beefy as he once was. And so he has to re-beef himself up and rally all the factions who hate each other to sort of fight against the alien invasion. So I'm actually enjoying the storyline. It's pretty good. The map's pretty massive, and it's open world, so you can do it in any kind of order that you kind of want. You can have a companion, which is kind of needed because you want them to take the heat until you face like a giant troll, and then they get launched in one hit. They don't die, but God, do they get toasted. But there's a woman in there supposed to be the mother of your child that you find out you have, and watching her get absolutely whacked by a troll and knocked flying was quite a scene to see. And then he just no stuff's given, and after you kill them, they're only stunned. Obviously, they wake up after you kill the enemy. But it goes to show that you say, okay, maybe I should avoid that one for a little bit.
I seem to remember another part of the first one was there was almost like permanent decisions. Like there was one bit early in the game where you go into a village and you can choose to fight your way in or try and earn the good graces. Is there anything like that in this one?
Kind of. You do. It says like your destruction limit that you basically it's just currying favor with the different people, but you kind of have to cement yourself to one of the factions, and whichever one you do, the other ones are going to get sort of kind of pissed. So your options are going to be limited depending on which one you join. But you got your choice of about 4 or 5. So there's options for like replay ability to sort of which one you kind of side with, and then but story wise it's good. The combat's a bit meh, but overall it's pretty decent. I'm enjoying it.
And any options for co-op or anything like that?
No, no options. It's just a single RPG open world one.
Nice, good. I'm intrigued to try it because I did enjoy what I played of the first one, but as you said, it was very I guess clunky at times, and
there is an element of clunkiness, and you have to play it in story mode to have any kind of chance, and it's tough as balls even in story mode. So I dread to think what the difficulty is if you ramp that up. I imagine you become the one getting launched miles.
One hit wonder, as they were.
That's what the original one was. It was almost unplayable. It was so hard.
Nice. Well, look forward to your review at some point in the next week or so, I guess.
Yeah.
I think the game came out a couple of days ago. Is that right?
Yeah, on the first, I think it was.
First of March, yeah. First of March. So yeah, if you're playing it, let us know. Let us know your thoughts, and yeah, we'll see what Graham thinks down the line. Cool. Thank you very much. Daniel.
Hello.
Daniel, what have you been playing this week?
I have jumped into a game that was Games with Gold last month. So Aerial Knights Never Yield. I don't know what made me jump into it. I think I wanted to try it.
That's a good reason as any.
Well, yeah, I can't remember. I think I saw a trailer and it looked pretty cool. So essentially you are, I don't want to say platforming, but you're moving from left to right. You have you have buttons, you have different types of jumps to jump over obstacles as you progress through levels. Very much like Trials HD type thing, where you have to kind of get from A to B to move on to the next part of the game. Like aesthetically, the game looks really cool, very kind of bright, cyberpunk-esque colors. So those like neon purple. The character looks really cool. I'm a couple of levels in, and it's nice. They kind of name it as a 3D side scroller with endless running, but it's, as the obstacles pop up, you're like, oh, do I slide under it, or do I like massive jump over it? Do I kind of backward? You do this jump that's like a little somersault, like a cool kind of barrel roll without the barrel roll in the car. Yeah, it's just it's cool. It's relaxing. Can be frustrating, as those type of games are, because if you die, you get dragged back to your next checkpoint. But it's still pretty chilled and not kind of frustrating as some other games can be.
Yeah, I think Ian was quite high on it when he's been saying the last couple of weeks. He picked it up a while ago, and I think Bubba reviewed it for us, and he was also quite high on it.
It's really cool. It is a really, really cool vibey game. It's got a really cool vibe to it. And as you progress through the levels, you can unlock like different cosmetics, a new jacket, I think glasses, trainers, etc., etc. But it's really hard and difficult to explain without you seeing kind of what it looks like. Like I said, it is a really, really cool game. And if you did pick it up when it was Games with Gold, as much as I say how shite they are, this one was a really cool game. Really, really cool.
Like you said, they're not always the greatest titles, but sometimes it's just nice to find something that's just enjoyable. Like, it doesn't have to be like the biggest AAA blockbuster, just something to enjoy for an evening or two.
Yeah, totally. I mean, yes, we all want that AAA blockbuster for free on these games to give away. However, a bit like Game Pass, when you find that game where you're like, yeah, I'll try that, and you're like, oh shit, this is a really good game, you're pleasantly surprised, and you're happy that obviously you pay your subscription to get something that's not as trash as you thought it was.
Nice. Happy days. Anything else on the docket?
Unless you want me to talk about FIFA, which I'll be totally honest with you, I'm not going to do.
No, thank you.
I haven't been playing much. My gaming time has been dreadful. My sleeping pattern's been awful, so have not been gaming at all.
Cool. Thank you very much. Well, going slightly off what you said about sort of being a difficult thing to explain about you seeing it. I've been playing a game this week called A Musical Story, which is a music rhythm call and response game, but it's not you're not sort of taking the part like Guitar Hero, for example, where one person plays, or like Rock Band, maybe one person plays guitar, one person plays drums, and you can mix and match your instruments and stuff. This one you literally just beat matching. So the idea is it follows the story of a 70s funk rock band, and the lead guitarist, it shows him at the beginning of the game in a coma, and you sort of living out his memories of how the band started, their sort of journey up to play at the festival called Pinewood, which was like their ultimate goal. And they do like little indie shows, and then they show them traveling on the road and stuff like this. And all the memories, they start off as a very small circle in the screen, and then if you manage to match the beats fully for one bar, it sort of expands it out and it shows you the picture. So it shows you him like jamming on his guitar, and then you do the next bit, and it'll be the drummer. So you have to. It's a slightly different note pattern to match. And again, if you match it, it will expand out and show him. And if you match 3 or 4 in a row, it shows you the whole lot in one long sequence in full screen, and it sort of fills in the story without saying anything. It uses the music and the visuals to tell you what's going on. So it shows them jamming together, and then it shows them in the pub drinking together and planning on how they're going to get to Pinewood, and then it shows them on the road and the various hassles they have. And I obviously won't spoil it because it's only about a 2-hour game, but I've really enjoyed it. Really, really excellent. It was something that I thought, let's give it a quick go. It's in our list. I'll have a quick bash. I like music games, and I played it from start to finish in one night. Just absolutely loved it. Brilliant game. I'll put a video clip of one of the stages up on YouTube. I don't think it come out very well. I might have to redo it, but it's basically, like I said, when you got the memory in the middle of the screen, the notes go around in a circle, and as, for example, if it's the guitar part, it would be like dung 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 dung, or something like that, and the notes will sort of pop up as it goes around the circle, and then once it gets to the end, it swings back round, and then it's your time to chime in, and you only use the left and right bumpers to play along, and it's basically just time matching. Have you ever played something like Guitar Hero? Not Guitar Hero, Guitar Man, something like that?
Heard of that one before, no.
You basically, they play a thing, and then you've got to copy it, and if you get it right, you move on to the next one, play another thing, and you just take the part of the bands. The only part I didn't really like, well, not that I didn't like, but it was definitely not as good as the start and the end of the game, was this middle section where, again, I won't spoil the story, but things go wrong as you might expect. And instead of being like funk rock, like 70s, like chill, you could sort of hear it like Starsky and Hutch like vibe, wah wah pedal and lots of funky riffs, and that it goes into more prog rock style stuff. And there's, if you're familiar with prog rock, it's not really a sense of rhythm. It's just a case of jam at the notes where in any order you feel, and it doesn't care. And it was quite hard to sort of play along with that erratic note patterns.
Maybe that was done on purpose.
It was, well, yeah. When you compare it with pair it up with the story, it makes sense why it was like that. But it just made it really hard to get past those bits, because in order to get the very final mission, you've got to hit all of the stages perfectly, and those ones are going to be a right bastard, because they're the longest ones and they're the hardest ones. And I've done about half of the either side of it. I just haven't got back to that yet. But otherwise, yeah, really good. Really enjoyed it. Nice, excellent music, nice visuals, nice visual style, and yeah, nice and short. Got through in about 2 hours or so. Well worth checking out. And you can see the review up on the site now, as well as, like I said, that YouTube clip, which I might have to redo because it came out a bit stuttery. I think my computer shit the bed a bit, but never mind. Good game. Go check out A Musical Story.
Cool.
Wonderful. Right, that's all we've been playing this week. However, if you need more games to play and you think, I don't really want to buy anything, but I do have a Game Pass subscription, Ross, why don't you tell the fine folks what they can expect over the course of the month of March?
So because of our rather shit show last week, I'll run over the ones that were on, which would have been on last week's show. So you got Far Changing Tides on console, which was March. So these first two are March the 1st. Microsoft Flight Simulator coming to the cloud. March 3rd, you had Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13 on console and PC. You've got Kentucky Route Zero, which is cloud, console, and PC. Lawnmower Simulator, oh yeah, coming out on Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, which I think Dan can't praise highly enough. Yeah. And that's cloud, console, and PC. Young Souls, cloud, console, PC as well for March 10th.
No.
Nice.
We've lost him.
Has he just, shit the bed near? I thought that. Right. Ian, I mean, no. It was Daniel.
Yes.
Tell us all about the games that are leaving Game Pass while we hopefully recover Ross.
Will we recover him? So the games that are leaving, you've got Pogs, Torchlight 3, you've got The Surge 2, and you have Nier Automata Becoming as Gods Edition, which is leaving Game Pass.
Nice. Again, always a shame to see things go, but some good games there. That Fogs is pretty good fun if you've got a chance to play before it goes with your kids.
Yeah.
Particularly enjoyable little puzzle game, that one.
Is that where you can make the dogs go inside the dogs?
Easy, episode 69. Yeah. You can stretch the dogs out, make
Yep.
them bigger, and then they go inside and they grip on. And then they go in the hole and then onto the next stage, you know?
Oh my God.
So, yeah.
Makes a nice big round number, correct?
Something like that, yeah. Ross, had you finished telling us all about your stuff, or did you cut out halfway through?
No, I got to March 10th, which will be all the ones for this week, and then there's more coming out, which will be on next week's show.
Cool. And Graham, Games of Gold. Speaking of Aerial Knights Never Yield, what have we got this month?
Oh, well, we got that. Aerial Knights Never Yield until March the 15th. And we've got The Flame in the Flood from March the 1st to the 31st. Street Power Soccer, which you can avoid from March the 16th to April 15th. Sacred 2, Fallen Angel from March the 1st to the 15th. And SpongeBob Truth or Square from March the 16th to the 31st.
Nice. So that's a relatively passable list, I think, of games to go and check out if you're interested in getting your free games, so your Games of Gold. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Unless anyone else has anything else desperate they'd like to bring up, I think we've done it. I think we made it, and I don't think we shit the bed too much this week.
No, I think we're done all right.
Yeah, I think
maybe a bit too
through.
FIFA heavy, but we're okay.
I think we followed through.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have another late night editing.
Well, if you made it this far, as always, you're a fucking hero, and we love you. Thank you very much for listening to Xbox Tavern's Xpod Tavern, episode 69. Nice.
Nice.
You can find us on Twitter, as you said before, at Xbox Tavern, and you can follow us on all the different socials, etc., etc. Just search. I suppose search Xbox Tavern would be a good idea. That might find what you're looking for. And you can follow myself at Enexan. You can follow Graham.
Graham Reaper.
Daniel.
Chocolate about 80.
And Scottish Grove Ross.
Chaotic 8389.
And you can also follow Ian, because I'll give him a little quick plug at Nutty Ray on Twitter. Go and send him some love. Tell him to feel better soon.
I've seen a picture of you giving him a plug. Anyway, move on.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that could be for episodes after dark, as we keep alluding to. One day we'll get to that. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. You're a hero. We love you. And we shall see you again next week at 8 p.m.
Yeesh.
Thank you very much.
Farewell.
See ya.
Take care.